Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Rewind That. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is the first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Today we are going to be going over the season premiere of Season 2, Force, Episode 1, called Tommy's Back, okay? So today, guys, I'm going to conduct this recap a little differently, all right? Instead of going scene by scene, I'm going to discuss each character and the conflicts they faced in this episode. So let's start with Tommy. So we see that Tommy is mourning the death of Liliana and he's going down memory lane. And we see flashbacks, of course, because we love to see Liliana, right? All of a sudden, we hear Liliana's voice and she asks Tommy why the Flynns are still alive. She tells him that he needs to make them suffer for what they did to her. And Tommy says, I will. Now, I just wish that we would have saw Liliana's ghost instead of just hearing her voice, okay? So anyway, next thing you know, Tommy goes to take out one of Walter Flynn's men. But first, he asks the guy where the Flynns were. I can't forget that he also gave him a little slice, you know what I'm saying, to honor Liliana's scar. Okay, now, like I said, he asked the guy where the Flynns were, and when the guy tells Tommy, he deletes him afterwards, okay? So, of course, Tommy goes and tries to take out Walter Flynn, and he has the shot, but Walter's bodyguard gets in the way, and Tommy couldn't take the shot, right? Which, of course, pisses him off. But anyway, aside from this new goal to delete the Flynns, Tommy still has his heart set on taking over the drug game in Chicago, and that, of course, comes with attention from the law. All right, so we have U.S. Attorney Stacy Marks, a.k.a. Dre from The Chi, and she is thirsting after Tommy something fierce, okay, in the worst way, all right? While her colleagues want to take their time with an investigation on Tommy, she wants to speed things up, right? So the next step is to gather some of Tommy's fingerprints, all right? And they trying to let her know that that's not going to be that easy because this guy seriously walks with his head on a swivel, okay? But we see this take place later on anyway, right? Because while Tommy surprises JP with the new bar, the law is outside getting the prints off Tommy's car. So they done caught Tommy slipping, all right? Okay, so when they run it, they find out that Tommy is from New York and he's technically dead. Stacy says that they're going to continue to keep an eye on Tommy by requesting a task force because she's sure that he's going to lead them to all the players in the drug game. Moving on, we also see that Tommy is partnered with Diamond. So they gather the remaining members of CBI and explain how things are going to work going forward. Now, Diamond lets them know that Janard is dead to him, and anyone working with Janard is an enemy of CBI. He also tells the crew that Tommy will be working with him. But a dude named Chewy has a problem with this, okay? Because first of all, they're switching up the territory. Plus, he doesn't like the white boy Tommy. Like, everybody really has an issue with Tommy being white in this show. And it's kind of annoying to me. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, they act like they ain't never seen a white boy with swag. But whatever. Anyway, so Tommy wasn't really sweating Chewy, you know what I'm saying? And Diamond was naive enough to believe that Chewy would fall in line. And guys, I'm not even going to bother to wait till we get to the end of this video, okay? You already know what it is. Chewy easily flipped sides and joined Janard's crew, which is now called treason, okay? And when Tommy caught up with Chewy later on, he canceled Christmas on him, okay? Right in front of a mural that said, "Stop the violence." Like, how ironic is that? Anyway, so back to Diamond, right? So one conflict we see for Diamond is that he has a new parole officer assigned to him. The other PO was on CBI's payroll, okay? But this one seems to do things by the book and might go the extra mile, okay? Which is pretty annoying. He lays out all these rules for Diamond and then he tells him that he wants things to work out for him. And I was like, really? Because all these rules, it seems like you're trying to trip him up sooner than later. So anyway, we also saw that Adrian broke up with Diamond via text and he didn't seem to care at all, okay? Moving on, as Tommy and Diamond set out to get this money, they go meet up with Miguel Garcia, the leader of the Insane Princes. So no one wants Tommy around because he's unfamiliar, right? So he was told to remove himself and wait in the back room while Miguel and Diamond talk business concerning their re-up. Now, before Miguel told Tommy to wait in the back, Tommy let it be known that they wanted to double the product. All right. We also see that Tommy meets Miguel's sister, Maria, while he's waiting in the back room. You know, he's trying to get his flirt on and she ain't interested, guys, okay? For now, right? The fact that Maria is Miguel's sister is, probably going to be another conflict for Tommy, right? Especially since we heard Diamond tell Tommy that Maria was off limits and that the graveyard was filled with men who made the same mistake of getting too close to her. But anyway, let's get back to Diamond's conversation with Miguel. During this time, we find out that Miguel is beefing with the Serbs because they're direct competitors, okay? So anyway, Miguel tells Diamond to make sure that Tommy ain't gonna be a problem because if he causes trouble, it might just cost Diamond his life, okay? Now, let's move on to Janard, okay? So we see that he has the other half of CBI with him, right? And like I said, they're now called treason, all right? He lets them know that Diamond is dead to him, and he takes things a little step further than his brother, and he tells his crew that if they see Diamond or anybody from CBI on their territory, to delete them, okay? Now, anyway, guys, throughout this episode, we see that things are not looking good for Janard, okay? He's low on product, blocks, and bodies, and of course, he's low on money, okay? Because we later hear him tell Miguel that he needs more time to give him the money for the re-up. Meanwhile, they're torturing a guy somewhere in the back, so clearly Janard needs to be very careful because Miguel is freaking crazy, okay? And Miguel, he wasn't trying to hear nothing about Janard being a little light on the re-up, all right? He tells Janard to have his money by Friday or he's going to end up like the guy screaming in the back. Now, Janard's conflict, to me, guys, is the most interesting because he seems to be going down a dangerous path, all right? He's low on product and cash. Meanwhile, he's working with Miguel and Mirkovic. And this spells more trouble, in my opinion, right? Because we already heard that Miguel and the Serbs are always beefing because they're direct competitors that run opposing pipelines, all right? So Janard being the middleman between the Serbs and the insane princes is most likely going to put him in a crazy position. We already saw Janard getting beat up by the Serbs because he promised them a territory that belonged to Diamond and Tommy, okay? So when Tommy told Mirkovic and his men to get the heck on, Mirkovic went back to Janard and had him roughed up. So I'm definitely interested to see how Janard is going to maneuver his way through all of this freaking mess, okay? Because, Mirkovic, he wants some projects back, which means that Janard's going to have to go to war with CBI, and he already doesn't have enough men, guys, okay? Now, the crazy thing is he ran CBI so well for 15 years, and now he's having a hard time getting a handle on things. Must have lost his touch or something. But on another note, guys, we see a love interest forming between Janard and Shanti, the showstopper, who is a boxer and a trainer, all right? She also gives Janard some money, as we see, right, when we first meet her. And then later on, when she gets to his house to come smash, well, she didn't really come to smash. She came to give him some more money because she heard through the streets that he needs it. So basically, he just denied that he needed the money, and he was like, he's good, but he was like, I want you and all that. So we saw them smashing and everything. So that's most likely going to be his new boo, okay? So before I end, let's go over to the Flynns, guys. And we're going to start with good old Walter Flynn, okay? Now, a man named Brendan Doyle comes to collect a debt from Walter because Dublin is upset that they sent the 4 horsemen over as a reinforcement and they got dealt with and never returned home, okay? So Walter tells Brendan, right, that he would like Brendan's people to show his family the same grace the Flynns once showed them, right? So Brendan wants to know what's going to happen with Tommy Egan, and Walter tells him that he will take care of Tommy himself, but it's going to take a while, right? But it will still get done. Walter adds that he just wants to make sure that there's not going to be no retaliations against his family. So Brendan was like, this is how much it's going to cost to keep the peace. And clearly it was an expensive price, okay, guys? But Brendan, he says it's non-negotiable and it's due at the end of the month, okay? Now, it's crazy to me that Walter says that he once sent over a ton of money and men to help Brendan Doyle's family during their time of need, and he never got a dime back, right? He chalks it up to the price of war, right? But when it's their turn to have the favor repaid, Doyle isn't understanding at all. But like he said, you were friends with my father, not me. See how it is sometimes when the sons take over the business? They do things differently, but they should still learn how to operate in fairness, because now I believe there's going to be a problem, okay? So Walter thinks everything is going to be okay now. So we see him telling his kids that they need to be united and they need to also be ready. And Claudia's like, what the heck do you mean by that? And he was like, I'll give you more information when the time comes, okay? But we later finds out that Walter doesn't have the money to pay Brendan, right? And this is clearly going to be an issue. But I could see Walter going off and just starting a war if he has to, I mean, he did reference it, said something about that his old man was saying that sometimes when you want peace, you got to go to war, you know what I'm saying? Or prepare for war, whatever he said, okay? So I ain't surprised, and I actually feel like he's going to do well in this situation. It's going to be a conflict, but I think he's going to come out on top. Meanwhile, Claudia and Vic decide to partner together to get Dahlia up and running. But when Diamond and Tommy find out that Dahlia's back on the streets, Tommy has JP leak the recipe to Dahlia online, okay? So Claudia loses it and she goes to the lab and she takes out the chemist. Now, I already did a separate video ranting about Claudia, so I'm not going to waste any more energy on this freaking clown, okay? Cancel Christmas on Claudia. Bye-bye. So guys, before I end this video, I do want to make a few sidebar comments about certain things that took place in this episode with other characters, okay? Now, D-Mac is recovering from his gunshot wound and Kate has been taking care of him. We also see Tommy try to give Kate a bag of snow and she doesn't want it. She tells Tommy that she's really trying to stay clean this time, and I hope it works out, and I hope that Tommy respects it, because he was definitely trying to force her to take it, okay? But, that's always been their dysfunction. So I can't really blame him. That's kind of like how he shows love to his mom, which is really freaking sad. But, we do see that Kate is very good with her grandson, and D-Mac seems to love her. So, he hasn't had that motherly love, and he's getting it through Kate, which is great. And also he has his dad, and it seems like everything's going well with them, all right? Now, we also see that later on, D-Mac is rushed to the hospital because his bullet wound got infected, right? Now, thank God that Maria, who is a nurse, she works there, and she ran into Tommy as he was about to go crazy on, the clerk, okay? So Maria had them follow her to the back, and they took care of D-Mac nice and quickly, so he's going to be okay, all right? Also, before all this happened, we found out that D-Mac, he wants to get back on the streets, but Tommy was not trying to hear it, right? But when D-Mac shows him that there's a smarter way to make sales, Tommy tells him that he can get back in, but only if he works from home, right? Now, we also learn that Miguel has diabetes, so that's one weakness of his, right? I also want to say that I like Miguel's sister Maria so far, okay? To me, she's not the typical woman that we've seen in Power, right? She knows about the game, her brother's in the game and all that. She's not into, snitching about it or nothing, but she don't want no parts of it, okay? And I like that about her. She's a nurse. She wants a different life. We also did see at the hospital that she got a little boo thing there as well. And Tommy saw her kissing a dude and he didn't seem fazed. But we'll see how all of that works out, guys. But anyway, that was my recap of Force. Okay, season 2, episode number 1. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, you guys take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.